Get what I'm saying? So don't always rely on the sketch. Um, make the neck of your sculpture. If you guys are doing a half mask, you don't have to listen to this tip. But if you guys are doing a full head mask, make sure that the neck is extra big to ensure that you won't have any trouble putting on the mask once you're done. Now, if this is silicone, it wouldn't be that much of a problem since silicone is, stretchy. But if you're still making your cast out of silicone, make sure the neck is still big, for other people to wear the mask. Now, if you guys are using latex, this is a huge, important tip for you. Make your neck, big, you know. If you guys want, you guys can actually make like a slit on the back of your full head latex mask. And you guys can buy one of those huge zippers, and you can staple it there, and so that can work too if you want. And don't forget to add nose holes and eye holes. Those are important. Make sure you guys do that. And here's one of the best tips out there. If you guys think you're done with your sculpture, either if it's half mask or a full head mask, well, guess what? You're not. You're not always done with your sculpture. Add as much detail as possible. Add as much detail to the point where your mind just can't take it anymore. And most important thing, practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you guys in the next step, which is main step number 3, which is mold making. So I hope you guys remember these tips on sculpting. So I hope you guys are ready for one of the most stressful parts of mask making, which is mold making. So yeah, that's the end of main step number 2, which is sculpting. Alright guys, day 7, we're 1 week on this tutorial video, and we're about to do main step number 3, which is mold making. Now mold making is probably one of the things that a lot of people have trouble with, so I'm here to help you guys. And also, if it's your first try, you're not always gonna get it, so it's good if you guys over time practice, So this is also one of the most stressful parts of mask making, because you're always gonna make mistakes somehow. It took me I think it was a good 4 tries just to get the perfect mold, and that was like November of last year. So yeah, over time, just practice with this stuff. You guys are gonna get it. So the materials you will need for mold making for main step number 3 is basically tools. The same tools you guys used for sculpting. You guys are gonna need crystal clear spray paint for the mold release from the sculpture, and you guys are gonna need a large brush kinda, just to clean off the plaster scraps, the chips and stuff. And you guys are gonna need like a buckle, and this can be bought actually in Monster Makers. And what this is that if you guys are doing a half mask mold, then you guys shouldn't worry about getting this. But if you guys are getting if you guys are making a 2-part mold, you guys really need this. And the purpose of this is to basically think of it as like duct tape. It holds the 2 molds together just like that. And that's the mold for malfunction death machine right there. So that's the buckle. Now Vaseline, this is important if you guys are doing a 2-part mold. This is basically like the release agent for the actual mold itself. If you guys are demolding it, like in the cracks, see, that's where the Vaseline comes in. You actually put it right there, and then you demold it. So don't forget Vaseline. And you guys need a bucket similar to the Monster Maker's latex bucket. And this bucket is actually the best one out there because it's not too big and it's not too small. So you guys get just the right amount of plaster in it. And you guys need water-based clay or pottery clay, doesn't matter. That can be bought from Monster Makers too. And you guys need a rubber kidney, which is basically used for smoothing out the plaster, so that it won't create any jagged edges that can cut you. And also you guys need some sort of container to dig up the plaster from the from the sack itself, and then you pour it in the bucket. So I got this right here. You guys can also use a cup, so it doesn't really matter. And also, last but not least, you guys need a plaster itself, and this can be bought at Monster Makers too. There's actually different kinds of plaster out there. There's like Hydrocal or something like that, but I personally use the Ultracal 50 gypsum cement from Monster Makers. So yeah, next step we're gonna do is we're actually gonna spray paint this with the crystal clear spray paint. Now when we do that, we're actually gonna do 2 to 3 layers of it, and I'm gonna do that right now. Alright guys, we're outside right now, and it's fucking hot outside right now. It's like 90 degrees. But you guys should always keep in mind that you're spray painting, so spray painting should always take outdoors. So what we're gonna do right now is we're basically gonna use crystal clear spray paint, and I'm gonna spray paint the sculpture itself, like 2 to 3 coats. And also the last, I actually forgot about the burlap. So you guys always need burlap for mold making. So you guys can buy this at Monster Makers. You know, they're not that cheap. They're not that, you know, they're only $2. So yeah, don't forget the burlap. And also, if you guys are spray painting, you guys should always buy a like a paint respirator or something. You know, because personally, I don't like the smell of spray paint. It gives me headaches. So yeah. Oh yeah, also, if you guys are using like oil-based clay, and you guys might be wondering, since oil-based clay is reusable, and I'm spray painting, 2 to 3 coats of this on the oil-based clay, it's not gonna catch on fire the next time you guys put it in the oven or the microwave. You know, it's only gonna catch on fire if it's exposed to open flames. So don't get too cocky about that. Alright guys, this is day 8 through the tutorial video, and I didn't get the chance to start on the mold yesterday since I was busy with some stuff. So yeah, it's day 8 from the tutorial vid, and today I'm going to show you guys the steps and hopefully start on the clay walls. So right now I'm going to show you guys the steps, and try to embed this in your mind so you guys can remember it. And so main step number 3, mold making. Number 1, you guys should make the dividing walls and containing walls of the full head or half mask sculpture. And make sure you guys use water-based clay, which can be bought in Monster Makers, and or you guys can also buy pottery clay. So they're basically the same thing, actually. Now you guys make the registration keys, and as you can see, it's only used for full head masks. So registration keys are basically like these little objects embedded in the clay walls, dividing clay walls, so that when you're done with the 2 molds, so that the molds don't like split apart or something. So it helps it stay together. Now for the plaster, when you guys apply the plaster, this is the order of layers that you should go. First layer is detail coat, which is very important, because if your detail coat is messed up, then your cast is gonna look messed up. So detail coat is very important. Then after that, you guys add 2 layers of burlap soaked with plaster. Then after that, final coat, and it has to be thick. Now after that, you guys use the rubber kidney, and then you smoothen it. And when you guys smoothen it, you're actually preventing yourself from getting cuts at the end, since dried plastic can cut you. So using the rubber kidney to smoothen out the plaster while it's drying is a good idea. Now if you guys are doing a full head or 2-part mold sculpture, two-part mold, what you guys need to do is repeat steps number 1, 3, and 4. Now if you guys aren't doing a 2-part mold, if you guys are making a mold for a half mask, just skip to step 6. So yeah, when you guys are doing a 2-part mold,